All right, here we are at our 2017 Sylvan Mirage 8522 SuperToon for sale here on the beautiful freshwaters, Norris Lake, Tennessee. Transferable slip will be available for this one. Located on the beautiful freshwaters of Norris Lake, Tennessee. Now, the slip that we're in right now is actually a complimentary slip for the restaurant here at this particular marina. So transferable slip is not this one. It's actually going to be a covered wet slip. Wet slip means the boat is in the water. Covered means there is a roof over it, kind of like these over here. Actually, kind of like where this barletta is sitting right now. That is a covered wet slip. Dry slip is going to be one that's got a lift on it. So, but yeah, transferable covered slip with this one. It's actually pretty nice proximity near where the parking lot is at this particular marina. We're in the Knoxville corner of the lake in Andersonville, Tennessee. And this is a one owner. Now you heard me say SuperToon. SuperToon is a variation of a Tritoon. We've got 3 tunes under here. These appear to be 24-inch diameter pontoons. Your typical pontoon boat's just going to have the outside tunes. You're just a 2-tune, one on either side. Now this SuperToon's like I said, a variation of a Tritoon. You've got a center pontoon that goes, you know, normally a SuperToon, the center pontoon's about half the length of the boat. This one obviously goes a lot farther than that. Looks like it goes just in front of where that transom mount is for your outboard motor. This one's powered with a 150 horsepower Yamaha 4-stroke outboard motor. 242 hours on it. There is a mooring cover. This one's rated for 12. Obviously, we've got the Bimini top overhead. That's what's covering the area near your driver's seat. We've got a low maintenance vinyl flooring. This is kind of has the teak style flooring. I actually particularly am a big fan of this version of the vinyl flooring. This is about generation 2 of that vinyl flooring in pontoon boats. This one's going to basically run the full length of the boat from the bow all the way to the back. We've got 4 entry gates on this one, one on either port. Well, that's actually starboard side. Here's your port side right here, and then obviously the bow and the stern of this one. A few waves coming in here right now where we're at. With the exception of this gate right here at the stern, we've got about 30, roughly about 30-inch wide entry gates. I think there was about 30 and a half on one of those 3, and the other 2 I want to say were about 30. We've got storage, basically the plastic roto-molded seat bases with storage located underneath. Lift these seats back. Now, one thing that I found rather unique to this particular one is normally these little roto-molded seat bases are very individual compartments, and they're actually kind of assembled together. So this one seat right here typically is actually put together in about 3 different sections. On this one, we noticed this is actually just a 2-section. You've got your seat back, which is a section, and then this entire front is 1 section. So now the only difference really is that this one compartment is now one whole compartment, as opposed to having a seam right there. Now, probably seems like a very minor detail and no big deal, right? But this is one of your cover poles. Okay, I think we got 4 of these. This is going to raise your cover up and essentially attempt to keep rainwater from piling up on your mooring cover whenever it's in place. Well, normally you would never be able to stick one of those cover support poles down in there without having to take it all the way down. Of course, they are adjustable, but normally you'd have to take that all the way down. And even then, it would kind of be a tight squeeze. You can see it almost wants to go past that center point just to get in there. So the fact that that's one big compartment, I guess something that somebody like myself that's been in and out of a lot of different boats definitely caught my eye. is something I have not seen in a while. We've seen some different versions of those seats that were aluminum framed and allowed for one big open bin. This may be one of the first plastic molded seat bases that I've noticed anyway, that has just that larger section. So anyway, minor detail, but it is going to offer you a little bit more storage space whenever you do have that larger compartment. Now just up here on the bow, I don't know if you've noticed, we got a whole lot of cup holders. We got 22 cup holders on this one. It's another tip of the hat to Sylvan. This one's rated for 12. A lot of times, maybe it's just a pet peeve of ours, a lot of times you get in a boat maybe rated for 12, you might be lucky to have, you know, 8 or 9 cup holders. The fact that there's 22 in this one, yeah, some people are really going to enjoy that. Nobody should go thirsty on this one. So you also have these storage compartments right here. That's actually where our mooring cover is. Stuck it there while we were had pulled this one out from under the cover for our photographs. But yeah, 2 cup holders, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 10 all right here up on the bow of the boat. Now you also may have noticed that is a mount right there in the center of your bow seating area for your removable lounge table. 2 more cup holders built into that removable lounge table. That would make 24 if you keep a track at home. But you also have 2 different options for that lounge table. And you have it back there in your L-shaped lounge seat area, or you can have it up here in the bow area. Now, just directly behind our port side entry gate, we have a pop-up changing room. This is going to lift right up right here. See some canvas tucked in there. Well, the way this works is a little snap right here. Unhook that snap. That little frame's on a shock there. It's going to lift right up, and then of course this canvas is just kind of tucked down in that bag just for storage. Makes opening and closing that hatch a little bit easier. But that is your pop-up changing room. Now you've also got like a little, this one might need to adjust it. Yeah, it needs another snap in a different position there. That's why that one's not hooked. There's probably is a snap on the other side. So yeah, that one's going to be able to go into place. So those snaps will kind of hold that changing room in place. Great option. A lot of people really like these changing rooms. We will often see maybe a porta potty kept in a boat and essentially utilized inside these little canvas changing rooms. I think that's a great option for a lot of people. Sometimes that's a must-have. You can usually add a changing room to most pontoons. They've gotten pretty creative now with lots of options for that. But for anybody that this is a must-have, it is already in place. And of course, if it's not a must-have, it's also can be rather convenient. Can perhaps buy you a little bit more time out on the water instead of having to come back into a marina if you've got young ones or even family members that don't like to be too far away from the nearest bathroom. So saw that entry gate over here on this side. We got some storage underneath our driver's helm. Speaking of our driver's helm, let's go ahead and head there next. This is a reclining dual fold down armrest captain seat. Now this is just there for convenience. Not hiding anything here. Just wanted to point that out to you right there. I thought that was actually a pretty nice idea right there. That appears to just be some patio cushions, but potentially save somewhere on that driver's seat. After all, that's typically going to be the most used seat in a boat. Now, there's your 12-person rating right there. This one has a AM. Actually, there may not be an AM on this one. This may just be FM. I believe this is FM, auxiliary input, Bluetooth stereo. You get power right there. That's going to pop up. We've got 4 speakers on board. So there's your FM, there's your Bluetooth, there's your auxiliary input. Yeah, so maybe there is an FM. Okay, yeah, we've got the AM available in our bands. Not like many people's listening to that on the lake, but so that would be an AM FM. Auxiliary input, Bluetooth stereo. Right here is going to be your auxiliary input. You've also got 12-volt power outlet right here. Engine hour meter, that's nice on a boat. That's another pet peeve of ours, is whenever manufacturers make that available as an option only. Obviously, that person buying the boat's probably not going to spend however much they want for an option for that, but you can, well, on the newer 4-stroke motors, you can always still read the engine hours off the engine. But I do love it whenever you have it up here at your driver's helm, because that's going to let you keep track of really of your maintenance schedule. And it's not going to be a mystery how many hours you put on the boat each year. So 242.1 engine hours showing on this one right now. Here's our dry trim gauge, your tachometer, your speedometer, fuel gauge, and your battery voltmeter. We do have power tilt trim. We've got, let's see, we've got one interior little courtesy light right here. We do have a pair of LED docking lights. There is of course your stereo remote. We have function tested the navigation lights. All those operated just fine. And there's our functioning horn. So basically everything has been function tested on this one. Now, I should probably call your attention. We've got a little floor and a pump switch right here. This was a option at the factory. Essentially, when they build these boats, they typically are going to put the same little power panel on all of these, or at least of this particular model. This does not have a live well or any other floor light accessories, anything like that. But this is a toggle switch where you could add something like that in the future. Now then, of our 4 stereo speakers, I do want to point out, I think it was this guy right here. So this speaker is operable. However, it needs a new connection on the back of this. These are 5-inch two-way marine speakers. And yeah, it's essentially we got a loose connection on the back that either needs a well, it needs a new connection, or perhaps even the speaker wire reconnected or soldered on there. It does have 2 little clips on there, but one of those has broke. You can simply just, and to function test it, we just simply touch those connections together. Speaker works just fine, but it just needs that reconnected. So kind of an easy fix on that one right there. But you know, as usual, full disclosure on all of our listings. So we try to represent these as accurately as possible. If we know something that does not function properly at the time of our video, we are going to call your attention to that, so that you can make an informed purchasing decision, and hopefully be able to at least narrow down options without having to get in the car and go look at every single one of them. So if we can do that for you, that is what we set out to do. So here at your driver's station, before we do leave, 3 more cup holders integrated in there. We do have some storage underneath. 3 more cup holders over here on this L lounge seat. Another 2, 4, and 6 right all there on this back section. So like I said, plenty of cup holders on this one. That was rather nice. A little bit different from most. Nice Bimini top overhead. Bimini top appears to be in good condition. We've got our walk-through gate here on the stern section. This is going to lead you to our 5-step swim boarding ladder. Also a little bit of an upgrade. Typically you're going to see about 3 to 4 there. That one actually has 5. We've got a nice ski tow bar. And this is that 150 horsepower Yamaha 4-stroke outboard motor. This is a actually, that might be a 2017 engine model. The date code on that, manufacturing date code, is August of 2016. I think August is when they essentially will consider that a 2017, but we'll call it a 2016 for now, or you know, it's manufactured August 2016. But again, that is a 150 horsepower 4-stroke Yamaha outboard motor. Again, appears to be 24-inch diameter pontoons on this one. Now that's typically something that we will verify before the listing goes live on our website. Sometimes that might look to be a 24, sometimes the manufacturer might list that as 25. But it, well, and full disclosure, see how we've got a little bit of a concave right here, right? So that can make actually putting a tape measure on that a little tricky. And that measure point's kind of right down there in the water line. So we do our best to measure those. Like I said, it appeared to be about 24-inch diameter. If the manufacturer does list that as a 25, well, then we'll certainly have 25 on our listing for it. 39-gallon fuel capacity, and that sits right down here in this little transom motor well. This is 8.5 feet wide. or 8.5 foot beam, and the length on deck are typically, because Sylvan's calling this a 22, typically that 22 is going to be the length to here. Okay, and it's not going to include, you can see that's easily another foot right there for your transom, and then probably another what, 30 inches maybe for that outboard motor. So while this is a 22 foot Tritoon or SuperToon, your LOA, your length overall, is going to be likely about 24 to 26 feet by the time you account for the length of that Yamaha outboard motor. Now, before I leave this rear deck here, I do want to lean over the side just a little bit so I could show you. We've got a pretty good little mark on the back of this engine cowling right here. And again, just in full disclosure, we try to show you any wear and tear. Now we've kind of done our model walk around. That would be kind of the next step. Let's get right into that wear and tear. Some water spots on that engine cover right there. And then over here on this corner, before I leave this side, we got a few little marks right here. This little rail right here, this is basically just a decorative piece right here. This is aluminum paneling in here behind that. Well, this piece has maybe done a little bit of movement since it left the factory, and has kind of put a little mark on that aluminum fencing right there. Maybe a little bit of a bend or a dent in this aluminum panel right here, and appears to be maybe a scratch because it's not wiping off, and that's kind of the same right in here. Now typically on this black paneling, especially when it is flat and you don't have like the little rivet lines, typically is going to kind of catch some water spots and stain this a little bit. You can wax this, or this aluminum panels, you can wax those and clean those in order to avoid those water spots. But this is all aluminum, so you know, yes, you can do that. You know, if this is my boat, I'm probably not going to do that. The beauty of the aluminum, again, in our freshwater environment is essentially you know, no maintenance. So now again, we referenced that we've got a wet slip that this one goes in. So we do have, when you're sitting in the water, you do get a little bit of like algae on these pontoons right here. If you can see right there, you can kind of scrub these, clean these off. You can take like a soft bristle brush and you really scrub on these pontoons down below the water line, and you can make those or at least remove some of that little bit of like lake algae on there. And when you do that, because this is a, you know, a Tritoon or a SuperToon, you're going to increase your speed a little bit. Now, as this one is equipped, as it is currently propped, and as it sits right now, I think our top speed's about 26 miles per hour. Now, clean those pontoons, I guarantee you're probably going to see probably an increase of at least 2 miles an hour. I'd say you go from about 26 maybe to 28. Now, to some, that might not be a significant difference, but if you were to eventually start storing this on a lift, then it's a lot easier to keep those pontoons clean. So if you were to transition to a lift, maybe you clean those pontoons and then you stay at that whatever that new speed is with the clean pontoons, you know, maybe 28. You know, there's not a whole lot of growth on here. I don't think you'll hit 30, at least not with the current prop on here, but now you might be able to play with the prop and clean tunes and get up to 30 miles an hour if that's important to you. Came back here to the rear deck because I did want to point out we got a little bit of staining back here on this vinyl, kind of around the corner here, and otherwise we have not noticed any rips or tears in the vinyl. Just a little bit of light staining, and most of that's near that back section. Yeah, I think I was gonna say up here on the corners, on these lounge seats, that's typically where you're gonna find some of that. Yeah, we got a little bit more right in here. Now let me go ahead. Oh, before I step off, let me stop at this entry gate right here on the bow here. We got a few little dents and dings in this little bow entry gate. Now, you almost need the light to hit it just right to notice these sometimes. So we're gonna do kind of a walk of the exterior, and we'll be looking for those. Looks like a little dent or ding right in there. Hopefully the angle's gonna hit that right so you can see. We've also got a little bit of separation right here. See we've got like a little dent or ding in this aluminum paneling up here on this port side near the bow. A few little scratches in that black. Some of that might be a little bit of dirt, but now I think there's a little bit of a scratch down there as well, in a few areas. And I do want to show you before I step off, we got a little bit of a bend right here on this corner plate. Okay, and a bit of an impact right there, that bow rail. You have little marks on that rub rail. Nothing that's gonna be too concerning for me anyway. See a little bit of a mark, or I want to say maybe a little bit of an indent line, I guess what I was trying to get at. That was nose for enough. A few more big waves coming in. Bear with me here just a moment here. I'm gonna let these waves pass by, and then I'm gonna hop off. We'll do a little bit of a walk around the exterior here. Okay. So I kind of showed you up there in that corner. A few other little marks on that rub rail along the way. Let me catch this guy right here. Chance to kind of see this corner. A little bit of a mark on this. This is kind of a splash guard right here. This has actually been up just a little bit. A few little scratches on there. Again, this is all aluminum. And then this corner as well, we got another little dent in this corner panel up here near the bow, this time on the starboard side. A few little scratches in that black coloring. And going back, you can see a few other little light scratches in there as well, if the light hits it just right anyway. Okay. And that's gonna do it over here on this side. Let's go do a walk of that port side. So I'm gonna give this a little push over towards the other way so we can kind of get close on the exterior of this one. Don't try this at home. Well, that's gonna work against me there. I just kicked it the other way. Let's see if we can't give it another push that way. This time I won't ride with it. And we've also got some wind breezing in, so it might be keeping this port side from getting closer. Oh, look here, see, that's a nice straight line on that splash guard there, but you do have that little bit of a bend on that rub rail corner, that front corner. There is a little bit of a mark just above that Sylvan. It's like a scratch with also a dent. Now that one showed up real well for us on photograph, so if you can't quite make it out in our video, you will have the photo of that one in the photo slideshow. It's going to show you that one, and I believe there's a little bit of a dent or a ding in that port side entry gate. And then we kind of started our wear and tear back over here in this corner. So that should give you a good representation of the true condition of this one. In my opinion, this one's in good shape. This is a one owner. Like I said, it's been used here. The life of this one has been spent here on Norris Lake in our beautiful fresh waters. Slip is transferable right here at this current marina. It's going to be on kind of the Knoxville corner of the lake. It's going to be near the Clinton Norris exit near I-75 north of Knoxville, Tennessee. Now if you're wanting to take this out of the area, can certainly make that happen. We can make arrangements to get this delivered to you. We've got some access to some new trailers if you do need a trailer for this one. We've got if you are shopping trailers, or if you're familiar with pontoon trailers, this one has a 75-inch center to center measurement. Center to center is referring to the distance between these two front pontoons. That's so they know where to sit up those bunks at. And then of course you can do a center bunk as well for that SuperToon. So you'll see we'll probably be listing this as both a SuperToon and a Tritoon, just because I'm not sure how many people are familiar with with the term SuperToon. I think we've done a pretty decent job explaining what that means. It's a little bit more than 2.5 tunes. Actually, I may even call it a 2 3/4 tunes. I definitely have seen some SuperToons is that center tune is barely half the boat. This one, I would say it's probably 3/4 length of the boat. So that's gonna start to wrap things up for us here today. Again, this is the 2017 Sylvan Mirage 8522, one owner, Tritoon, SuperToon with this 150 horsepower Yamaha 4-stroke outboard motor. Low engine hours on that, and again, all fresh waters, 242.1 engine hours. So I think that's going to do it for this one. As usual, visit our website for the full list, specifications, features, options list. If you see anything different on that website from what we said, typically you're going to want to go by whatever's written at the website. Sometimes we'll get some stuff wrong here, kind of like on those pontoon dammers. Appear to be 24. If we find out manufacturer calls those 25, that's how we'll list them at. So yeah, if there's ever any difference between what is spoken in the video and what's actually written on the website, always refer to that, what's written on the website. That will have been verified. And down the video description of this one, you will find a direct link to this listing at our website. That link's going to take you to our photo slideshow page. You're going to have all of our contact information there, as well as current asking price, and then photographs of this. It can be a full walk around of the photographs. Wear and tear photos will be towards the end of that photo slideshow. You can use that thumbnail frame, skip toward the end. You know, if we don't feel like you got a real good look at that little dent above that Sylvan logo over here on this port side, there will be a photo of that in our photo slideshow page. Additionally, you'll have a link to this video tour that you're watching right now, as well as a printable PDF. And again, all of our contact information, you'll be able to reach out to us by phone, by text, or by email. We do like to remind you, if you call us on the phone, you happen to get our voicemail, keep in mind we are frequently in areas without cell phone reception. So if you want to return a phone call, please take time, leave us a detailed message. Let us know which listing you're at, what questions you have, and as soon as we either return to cell service area or finish up with the customer, we'll receive your message, return your call, answer all those questions for you. Also, if you send us an email, if it's been one business day you have not gotten an email reply, please check your spam folder. We're very quick about getting email replies, especially on business days. So if it's during a business day, business hours, and you don't see that email reply, typically by the end of the day, if you send us an email in the morning, you haven't gotten a reply back by the evening, unless it's one of those rare days where we're without reception all day, chances are we probably got to your reply at some point during the day, and just check your spam folder. And then as we do conclude, it's going to be two things that come up on your video screen. Top left-hand corner is going to be a shortcut to take you to our current listings playlist there at our YouTube channel. Top right-hand corner is going to be a shortcut to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, that's a great way to get notified anytime new inventory post. Otherwise, again, that direct link for this listing where you're going to find the asking price, all of our contact information is going to be down that video description. And I thank you for joining us again on this one today. Again, this is the 2017 Sylvan Mirage 8522 SuperToon / Tritoon with that 150 horsepower Yamaha 4-stroke outboard motor for sale again here on the beautiful freshwaters of Norris Lake, Tennessee. I thank you again for joining us today.